everybody, this is Jennifer. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing my reading in review for the last month or so. So I haven't filmed in a little bit. I have not really, I don't know. I've been dealing with some business. And so I'm back and I'm planning on a full docket for July. So let's just start it off with a review of my most recent reading and what my plans are. So things I have finished recently. From my summer of rereading TBR, That Liquor, The Value of X, and Prime by Poppy Z. Bright. And those are going to be getting a separate or 3 separate review videos. I have lots of thoughts on them and I am wanting to do separate videos. They might be all together in one, or they might be 3 separate videos. I haven't decided on that yet. I think it depends on how long I end up blabbering on about each one of them. So, who knows? Next thing I also finished was All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries. It's a series of novellas, and then the most recent, I think it's a longer length, maybe it might even be novel length, Network Effect came out recently, and I am catching back up with this series before I read that one. So yes, I quite enjoyed that one. Again, it was a reread and it was 4 stars. After that, I listened to the audiobook version of Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this is her thoughts and her theories about creativity. This was a re-listen. I think I read the ebook like a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago. So I was familiar with most of this. I think there's a lot of good practical stuff in there, especially if you want, if you want to do anything creative. I know she's a writer, but I think it could be dealt with, for all kinds of creative endeavors, even if it's just for like a hobby. There are some like drawbacks. There's a lot of like, when she says big magic, she puts a lot of woo-woo-y business with the practical, which it didn't bother me that much, but if it bothers you, it might be an issue. There was also, I was reading a 2-star review and they were talking about how name droppy it all is. The light just flickered, so that wasn't just you. And that can be a little cringy. It's not always, not for me. In the end, like I said, it was a reread of a book I already liked, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. And then I read Midnight Robber by Nalo Hopkinson. I thought the premise was extremely intriguing, and overall I did like the book. I think I'm in between a 3 and a 4 star on it. So it's like 3.5 in my head. I ended up giving it like 3 stars on Goodreads. Like I said, the premise is extremely intriguing. It's a good blend of science fiction and fantasy. There are a lot of fantastical elements and a good deal of scientific elements. And it's all circling around a planet that's been colonized called Toussaint, and they have this thing called Granny Nanny, or it's you get this implant thing in your ear, and it's nanotech, and it kind of like fuses with your ear, and there's, I wouldn't call it a hive mind, but it's a nanny system. It's like it keeps an eye on you all the time, and there's hyperdimensionality to it also, where if you are exiled, you're exiled to like an alternate dimension called New Halfway Tree, and she ends up going to New Halfway Tree and taking on the persona of the Robber Queen based on some events that they go into. That I really thought it was interesting. I thought the writing style was good, and it was easy to get into the dialect that was being used. My issue is with the pacing and the story structure. There were several times where things feel like they're reset And like I was almost 57% in, and I feel like the action hadn't started really, and I don't know. There's just some pacing issues, and I also felt like there were some story holes that I couldn't get past. In general, I liked it quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to reading more of Hopkinson's work. So those are the books I've read recently since we last chatted. And then I DNF'd 2 books. Imperium by Christian Crockett. This was boring and annoying, and I did not care. So I quit. And then the next one was Confessions of an English Opium Eater by Thomas de Quincey. And this is really a case of it's not you, it's me. I got on with the writing style, and I didn't dislike it. However, I picked it up for Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and after Dewey's 24-hour readathon, I did not pick it up. It's like, it's all right, Thomas, we had a good Saturday, Sunday morning together, but now it's over, and I'm just probably not going to pick it back up anytime soon, and I can get it from the library if I do that. So yeah, those 2 are DNF'd. What I have next is what I am reading. I just started Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, and this is on my Read German Books 2020 TBR. This one was a part of that, but then I DNF'd it, and I've only gotten 55% way through the Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, and I'm probably not going to head back to that one until September. So I really wanted to complete a friggin' book on that TBR. And I had 7 options, and I'm with this one, and I'm on page 27, and it's like 150 pages long. So I'm anticipating finishing this week, because I really want to finish a book off the German 2020 TBR. All right, so what else? There is a read-along of Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco that's being hosted by Jason over at Byways in Bookland. I am going to try to go along with this. I thought it was very, I don't know. I'd tell you I thought the premise was interesting, but I have not even read the back of the book. It might be a book I like, it may not, but at least I'll say I have tried it. In conjunction with that, I am also going to be rereading The Seventh Function of Language. This was one of my favorite books that I read in 2008, and so I'm going to circle back and pick it up again. The reason why I'm reading this now is because Umberto Eco has a minor role to play in this story, and I thought it was like pretty much the only reason I want to read, well, one of the main reasons I wanted to reread this is because he had a role here, and I thought he was an interesting character here, so I wanted to see what kind of book he would write. So I am going to, these are going to be in tandem. I have the audiobook version, which is narrated by Bronson Pinchot, aka Cousin Balky from Perfect Strangers, and Serge from the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. And I really liked his reading of it before, and this is just for like, I like having hard copies of some good audiobooks. And also, this has so much in it that I am definitely going to want to annotate, and I find it much easier in like a hard copy or an ebook than I do on audiobooks. Audiobooks do not lend themselves to annotation at all, and that's, well, not at all exactly, you can do bookmarks, but it just doesn't lend itself to easy annotation. So I like to have a hard copy of some of my audiobooks. Let's see here. Oh, So Jane Austen in July is going on because it's July. And some things I have picked up for that are Pride by E.B.'s Boy. That is a Pride and Prejudice retelling that takes place in New York, and it involves gentrification. I just read the first paragraph of it so far, so technically it's a currently reading, but not exactly. And I thought at least the very first part was very catchy, so I am looking forward to that. I am also going to be listening to an audiobook version of Pride and Prejudice for Jane Austen July. Pride and Prejudice is my favorite Jane Austen novel, and I have at least one video idea that I think I'm going to be doing for Jane Austen July, but it might get done, it might not. A few more things, and then I will let you go. A part of my rereading and a part of my Read German Books 2020 playlist is The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka. The Metamorphosis, is about, what's his first name? Gregor Samsa. And he wakes up one day to find he is an insect, and this is about how it affects his life and his relationship with his family. And then it also, this also has my favorite short story by Kafka, A Hunger Artist. And some other ones that I don't really quite remember. I think I read this back in, it might even be the early 2000s, so it may be a good 15 years since I've last read this. But I want to reread it. Also, there is a new Deadly Class Volume 9 Bone Machine, and this is taking place in the year 1989. So the next volume should start going into the 90s, and they're having their second year of finals, and yeah, those things can get bloody when you're in a school for assassins. So also off of two, I want to call them playlists because I'm in a very musical frame of mind lately, but two TBRs, my TBR Clear Out TBR that we did back in, I think April or May, had The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides, and this is about the Lisbon sisters and the boys at their school who become obsessed with them, and they all kill themselves. And Catulus's Bread Spread, The Lady with the Bum, my Sooner Rather Than Later TBR. The Life of Rome's Most Romantic Poet by Daisy Dunn. So yeah, that is the latest status of my reading. Be on the lookout for my review videos, which are coming up this week. My Jane Austen in July video, and I don't know, maybe some more chatty videos about, some people have been doing really good chatty videos, and those, I think those are some of my favorites lately. I know it's going to be a little weird after me doing just that, but hearing people just list off books and stuff, it's becoming more of a, I don't know. I guess I'm becoming a little jaded with some of the things I used to really love, and I know it's more of a manifestation of doing the same things over and over again in COVID land, but so sometimes you just got to mix it up a little. A couple of things, I've been getting into some 90s movies that I've really liked in the past. Yesterday I watched Hackers. This week I think I'm going to watch The Truth About Cats and Dogs with Uma Thurman and Jean Garofalo and Ben Chaplin, and Legends of the Fall. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to join in the reading rush this year. I might. It depends. I just listed off a whole bunch of stuff that I plan on reading, and if I finish most of them early, I might, and I'll decide in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been keeping a sharp eye on my screen time and trying to make that reduced. I've been playing my Super Nintendo. I busted out the Super Nintendo just to have something new to do. Let's see, I quit social media mostly. I'm still here, I'm still on Instagram, and like for specific things, like Letterboxd for movies, Goodreads for my reading, those. Facebook and Twitter are gone, and Instagram might be following it. I'm very reluctant to remove Instagram, even though it's owned by Facebook, because I feel like I still get a lot out of Instagram, and I might like change my mind if I stop. Yeah, so I'm trying to do all those things, and I'm also trying to get like quiet time. Like I've scheduled 15 minutes of quiet time every day for this week, and I've set alarms, and I've been writing about it, like the quality of my quiet time in my journal. So I've been like, I don't know. I'm just trying to do some new stuff because we're working from home till at least September 1st. And I'm not going lots of places during the week. I am trying to keep myself and others safe by staying indoors not staying indoors, but staying at home in my home vicinity as much as possible. I have caved, and I have a hair appointment on Tuesday. But anyway, yes, that is my reading. Be on the lookout for the other stuff, and let me know how your reading is going in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. See ya.